Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to an SP Reviews where today we have ourselves a track by an act named Paradush titled Stop the Moment. And if we switch over to here, we have ourselves a track on Spotify. I initially got linked to this on Apple Music. I don't have an Apple Music account and it's on Spotify, so I'm listening through it through here, but if you have an Apple Music account, you can listen to it on that platform as well. This track is off of the Stop the Moment EP with 3 other tracks as well. And we're going to listen through this from start to finish, and we're going to hear what we think. It should also be noted as well that we have lyrics down here, so we're going to listen through those as well as we go along. And yeah, I'll read through those as we go along, and yeah, let's go. Pretty combination of elements here.
When a little bit of something new comes to your life for the first time, you don't know it yet, and I wonder how to identify. Is it a good thing or a threat?
I love the combination of the guitar, the bass, the keys, and her voice. They've all got such warmth in their various textures, and the complexity of the arrangement does not distract from how caring it sounds.
Cause you can never be sure if it hurts you or heals. Have you found something special? I will be just gone with the wind.
Nice musical response.
Nothing that you care.
Good use of space as well. I like it when we don't just have vocals the whole time, when we allow the accompaniment to be by itself. It's great.
But if you look carefully now, it's a moment to change it all, and you know how. Stop the moment and be careful now.
Just before we go into the next section, it's just so lovely how we identify that we're telling a story, but we have to sort of create the oral aesthetic of it. These sort of, I'm not quite sure, there might be some extensions in there, but any sort of like notes that might seem tense if we're in the right tone, like with those high key parts as well, the softness of the approach there. And the subtlety of the percussion, it's just a lovely combination to suit this aesthetic, this vibe.
If you live it in a state of mind, or black and white, should be nothing surprising. Peace and always alright. How could it be? It was you to decide.
If you're living in a state of mind of black and white, should be nothing surprising to you. Peace ain't always alright. How could it be? It was you to... I get it. There's some interesting sort of thought process being examined here, you know? Great job. Extra lead textures on top of the la 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 part. Great gradual development through this track, you know, making the most of our real estate here. I wasn't expecting this to be doubled.
And if you look carefully now, it's a moment to change it all, and you know how.
Okay, going into a head voice a little bit more oomph to it. Nice.
Stop the moment, hey, and be careful now. When a little bit of something new comes to your life for the first time, you don't know it yet, and I wonder how to identify. Is it a good thing or a threat?
Is it... I mean, I'm not going to... I'll let it continue. I was about to talk about what I thought the song was about, but we're nearly done anyways.
Is it a good thing or a threat?
Revisiting this
Is
thing.
it a good thing or a threat? Is it a good thing or a
There's an unconventional chord in there that I kind of enjoy. I like how conversational Paradush is, the vocalist here. She's really just asking, is it a good thing or a threat, you know? Can you stop the moment to approach this and understand that there's a grey area involved? Because this is the conclusion of my review of this track by Paradush off of their Stop the Moment EP titled Stop the Moment. What do I think this track is about? I think that this track is about someone who is gently trying to communicate to another person they need to not just assume that everything is black or white, that things aren't always good or bad, that there is nuance there, and that the next time something comes along, an opportunity, it's not just something that will hurt them or help them. It's about giving that thing a chance to kind of maybe go with the wind and just have a bit of time to develop, I suppose, to not be so reactionary. And I think that's a really important message that a lot of people could benefit from, especially in a day and age where a lot of people are very, very, very reactionary. You know, when there's limited barriers to acting upon things, people can make silly decisions. So I think this is a cool story to tell. And it's one I haven't heard before, really. So that's great. Well done. I think the vocal performance was symbolized someone who was both a really competent vocalist. She's sensational. Her and Joyce's voice is wonderful. Fantastic full vocal melodies there and some harmonies all on the sides and the la 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 parts as well as the chorus bits near the end. But she also sounded incredibly patient, and I appreciate it as well. It makes it seem like she's more in tune, excuse the pun, with the story. And the tone of her voice there was very caring and supportive, but also it wasn't supportive in a way where she was wanting to tell them that what they were doing was acceptable. It was more that she was trying to say that, hey, just give it a chance. Just try not to be so like you. Try to adjust to suit, you know, in a caring, loving way. So I think that her vocal performance was fantastic. It was really positive part of the track for me. So the story and the vocals matched. I mean, the track itself, the accompaniment, everything else, you know, with bearing in mind the story we had, the theme itself was one where I think that it did sound like it was like you're in a room together and it's cozy and there's a lot of warmth to it, as if it was like a caring conversation. And the reason I got that in part was because of the kind of jazzy sort of clean guitar parts there with the extended chords and such. The really beautiful keys there, the piano parts there, or like the electric keyboard parts there where we had some synth up the top or something like that, some higher notes there that sparkled around the place. And some like lower sort of left-hand stuff that was nicely tucked into that mid-range there and made it seem really full sounding and nice and wide in the stereo field. The bass line was really sort of succinct and nicely balanced in that low end there with a little bit of sizzle to it, but not too much that it overwhelms the rest of the senses or the track or the parts of the arrangement. And the drums as well were very supportive in regards to keeping the groove moving forward and stuff like that, and keeping in time and adding a little bit of sort of like extra kind of oomph to parts where they needed to in the track without overdoing it, overstepping the boundaries. There were also some like little bells or triangles, or occasionally as well as little bits of extra accent. And I liked the lead guitar layering of the melody that we had later on in the la 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 parts as well, as that was just development of the main motif there. It's so important, even in a 3.5 minute track, which is still relatively short in comparison to a lot of the stuff I review. I just like the fact we didn't take for granted that the initial idea would just be enough to carry us. We cared about the listener's experience, and we adjusted to suit. So well done. And overall, I think the track was really well written, and the vocals matched the accompaniment, the story matched everything else, and there was a great sense of connection with everything. So it's good stuff. The studio recording, mixing and mastering is obviously the final bastion of it. If you screw that up, it's going to be a rough time, and they didn't do that here. The quality of the audio recording, the performance itself is fantastic with no note out of place. And in regards to that, I think as well, we just had a fantastic time with the quality of the vocal recording there, with the filtering and EQing and stuff being fine without too much compression there. The bass was nicely balanced in there and the drums as well, without kind of cutting into them too much, or like a minimal amount of sort of side chaining. We wanted a more sort of like live organic performance, a tone to it. The guitars were nicely filtered and nicely balanced and notched in the frequency spectrum and the keys as well. It was nice to wind the stereo field stuff surrounding us. It was fantastic with use of panning for the different vocal parts as well as some of the key bits and etc. The leveling across the track was great. There were no issues there from a production perspective. There was dynamic range to it, which I appreciate as well. Everything wasn't the same loudness. And the track was nice and loud without pumping, so the limiting compression overall were handled well. I'm really impressed with this first impression to Paradush's work. So thank you very much for watching my review of this track by Paradush titled Stop the Moment. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go show us some love via the various social medias and a Spotify page as well as our Apple Music page. Stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time as they either help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I'll catch you in the next review. Spiderhands out.